Hello, my name is Lisa Elvin Staltari, and this is my channel. At Roots Will Travel. I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last year, we have been exploring les filles du roi, the founding mothers of Quebec and indeed North America. Um, Channel, I have lots of other videos that I plan on doing, but right now I'm really focusing on les filles du roi. Coming up in January, I'm hoping to start les filles à Menacier, so we will hopefully see that soon. Um, I do want to point out some of the icons that I've added to my front page. We have the subscribe button, which I'd love for you to do if that's something you're interested in. Click on the like, that helps out to share the channel. And of course, the notifications will give you the ability to get notified when I post new content. The three new icons represent Ko-fi. I belong to the Ko-fi club now, coffee club. And apparently, if you click on it and you want to give me, buy me a cup of coffee, then you can do that. It's kind of cool. So it's like a one-time donation sort of thing. And then we have Etsy, where I have done 2 digital downloads that you can have a look at involving Les Filles du Roi. I hope to have more. And then the big one, Patreon, is a way of supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Have a look at that, different levels and things like that. So I'm really excited to partner up with Patreon. So with that being said, let's get started and find out who is our fille du roi of this episode. So we are on episode 135, if you can believe it. And our fille du roi of this episode, her name is Louise Menacier. And she is a viewer request, but she's also a great grandmother of my very best friend, another one. She has so many of you do, I know. So let's get to know Louise a little bit better. So Louise was born in 1637 in the region of France known as Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, and the department is Côte d'Or, which means golden section or golden side. And the commune where she was born is Saint-Colombe-sur-Seine, which obviously means it's next to the Seine River. It's a very old commune where history can be found in the 6th century, from the 6th century BC. Archaeological digs have discovered ruins from these periods, including burial grounds. So just amazing place. This small village, about 1,000 people, has been a witness to a great deal of history. This is where Louise came from. This is the church where she would have been baptized, and this is a modern day, aerial view of the little place where she was born. So she came to Canada, or New France, on the very first ship, Le Phoenix de Fléchage. I hope I'm saying it right. June 30th, 1663. Remember, she was older. She was about 26 when she came to New France, which is really young. But in terms of, that period of history, it was getting up there. Let's see who she selected and who selected her. So Toussaint Ledra is the name of the groom that she selected and who selected her. He was born in 1634, so he's only a couple of years older than her. And he was born in the commune called Berzé-le-Sec. And you can see it is part of the Hauts-de-France section, so it's really in the northern part of France. And inside of that, the department is Aisne, okay? So that it kind of situates you into, where it is in relationship. Geography is everything. And then I found a picture of Berzé-sur-Sec, and there it is, Le Sec, the little sign as you're going into the town, which is amazing. And then, of course, the church where Toussaint would have been baptized, of course, is from the 12th century. This is a very, very historic place. Remote to some degree, but absolutely breathtakingly pretty. You can absolutely see it's picture perfect. So on the 12th of November, 1663, they were married. Now, obviously, Toussaint would have come over prior to that period of time. and possibly had served his time as a engagé, as the hired hand, and kind of acquired some kind of land or something. We do not know, the whole particulars of his coming to New France, but we know that November 12th, he was there at the chapel marrying his fille du roi. So they would settle down in Quebec City. Let's review a little bit about this place. We have, obviously, Quebec City is the capital of this day of Quebec, the province of Quebec. 500,000 people live directly in Quebec City to this day. Quebec was originally named by the Algonquins, who named the area Quebec, K-E-B-E-C, which in their native language meant where the river narrows. Quebec City lies where the St. Lawrence River narrows. Samuel de Champlain founded the French settlement here in 1608 and called it Ville de Québec, or Quebec City. The city walls, which were built at that time and surround it still, are from this time period and are really the one remaining city walls in all of North America. So it's quite a sight to see. Now, there's so much to see in Quebec City, but I always like the Maison Jacquette. This is the upper left. It is the oldest residential building in Quebec, actually. 1675 is its date period. You can actually tour it because it is a famous restaurant where you can you imagine dining here? I can't wait. This is my summer. This is where I'm going next summer, I hope. And it's called Aux Anciens Canadiens, to our old Canadians, or historic Canadians. And the bottom is just kind of a part of the downtown area of Quebec City, very cobblestone. If you've ever been to Boston, which is actually younger than Quebec City, but from that same time period, they are kind of built in that way, the same way. We have in the middle a picture of, depiction of Quebec as it would have appeared in 1700, and then an old style map of Quebec that I found, and I thought really, kind of has that flair of how old Quebec really is. Now, the bottom, I've flipped the 1681 census that has Toussaint and Louise there, and their children, Louise, Marie, Georges, Toussaint, Marie, Françoise, Pierre. Well, they didn't let, their ages stop them. We will soon see their descendants. They have 4 goats, and they have, can you believe, 12 arpents of land. So that's like 8 to 10 acres of land. So that is really quite a feat. Let's have a look at that family. So Louise would marry Michel Lecourt and have 11 children, 9 of whom made it to adulthood. Marie would marry Michel Roy and have 11 children, 6 of whom would make it. Georges would drown, actually, at the age of, I believe it was 23. And there was an unnamed girl who passed away at birth, another unknown named son. We have Catherine, who also passed away. We have Toussaint. We do not know what happened to him. We have Marie-Madeleine, who we believe passed away at 12. Françoise also passed away at 12. And then we have Pierre, who we do not have any information on. So really and truly, for all those children listed in that 1681 census, there's only 2 of them that produced descendants. Remarkable. Louise would pass away at the age of 50 and was buried at Lauson. Toussaint would pass away more than 20 years later, living to be 77 years old. Despite the fact that only 2 of their children survived, they would go on to have an astonishing 114 descendants. Amazing. Here are 6 of my favorite websites and resources. I have number 1, La Société des Filles du Roi, the Quebec Genealogical E-Society, Nos Origines. I want to feature that today. Nos Origines is a free site, and you basically can toggle between English and French. It's got lots of user input, and it is a really good site. So I use it very frequently. Not always correct, But I love the fact that they put sources and that sort of thing. Sometimes that's the only place I find the source, so it's very good. Généalogie Québec, I always call it my ancestry Quebec. I could not do my job without it. Number 5, Migration, and number 6, Facebook. Wonderful little site, even if you're not a Facebook fan. So these are my top resources. And so ends episode 135. Louise Menacier, we thank her. I mean, can you imagine? They only had 2 surviving children, and yet they were able to produce that many descendants. I can't wait to find out who is a descendant of this, very quiet and dedicated couple who just kind of lived their life. No scandals. They did their best. And, you have to admit that they would have had a lot of heartache with that many children passing away. So I just think that their remarkable fortitude, and I think that her early death at 50 is probably attributable, who knows, to the fact that she endured so much loss. But we're thankful that 2 of her descendants were able to sustain and grow the family tree. So with that, we thank Louise and Honoré, and we bless their memories, and we are grateful that they came to our shores. Until I see you on episode 136, au revoir.